Welcome back. Let's continue here now. France will formally recognize a Palestinian state at the UN General Assembly in September. President Emmanuel Macron announced on Thursday. Now, the move takes to at least 142 the number of countries that now recognize or plan to recognize Palestinian statehood, according to an AFP tally, defying strong opposition from Israel and the United States. For more on this, let's now speak to SABC News Correspondent Blake Sifton, who is live for us. Blake, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for your time. So there's been quite an interesting reaction to this announcement, particularly from the US and Israel, with French President, as we've been saying, stating this on X yesterday, that he will formalize this decision at the United Nations General Assembly in September. Tell us more.
Good afternoon. Well, this decision by France to formally recognize the Palestinian state is largely a symbolic gesture. It is evidence of further pressure piling on Israel over its conduct in the war in Gaza and on the starvation situation in Gaza. As you say, there has been widespread outrage by Israeli officials following this decision by France. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that Israel strongly condemns the decision. He says that it rewards terror and that a Palestinian state would be a launch pad for the annihilation of Israel. Head of the opposition in Israel, Yair Lapid, someone who never agrees with Benjamin Netanyahu on anything, has said that Palestinians should not be rewarded for October 7th, and it is a moral mistake and a diplomatic error. Israel's immigration minister, following this decision, has urged Jewish citizens of France to leave France and move to Israel, saying Israel is their true home. And as you say, Secretary of State, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, echoing much of that condemnation. He's called the decision reckless, said that it serves Hamas propaganda and is a slap in the face to the victims of October 7th. So widespread outrage by Israeli officials, by Marco Rubio, and further evidence of pressure mounting on Israel over the war in Gaza.
And I would imagine that what makes it more significant in terms of this move, the move does make France the largest and arguably the most influential country in Europe to move to recognize a Palestinian state.
Yes, that's right. With France coming to this conclusion, it's now the first G7 country to recognize a Palestinian state. And it is in line with what we're seeing, especially in the last few days, the last week, as more and more influential countries are putting pressure on Israel for their conduct during the war in Gaza. Earlier this week, you saw the foreign ministers of 28 countries, Western countries, signing on to a joint statement calling Israel's treatment of the Palestinians in Gaza inhumane, accusing them of drip feeding aid into Gaza, and directly calling for the war to end. And that included the foreign ministers of the UK, of France, of Canada, Australia, Japan, much of the G7, much of NATO. The only notable absentees from that statement were Germany, a longtime Israeli ally, and the United States. And of course, many have said that even with increased amount of pressure from Western governments, without the United States trying to hold Israel to account for its actions in Gaza, little is likely to change on the ground.
Thank you so much, Blake, for that. I really do appreciate it. Blake Sifton there, our SABC correspondent, just giving us more information around France formally saying that they will recognize a Palestinian state at the UN General Assembly in September.